Good morning on your Friday. Today we're going to spotlight another absolutely fantastic key date, and that's going to be the 1931 S Lincoln Cent. This is what I would be kind of like the bottom end of the key dates for the Lincoln Cent series before you get into like the 26S and 22D and coins of that nature. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this coin in terms of the actual metrics, the mintage figures, uh, how much they're worth in the marketplace today, and a little bit of history. Okay, so let's go ahead and start out with the basic stuff. This is a relatively low mintage coin at 866,000 pieces. Compared to a lot of the other coins around this era. And keep in mind, this is a Depression era coin, okay, which, kind of. Uh, uh, um, kind of sets everything together in terms of coins and survival rates at the time. Coins were being used, and credit was no good at the time. Everybody knows the stock market crashed in 29, and it took a number of years, all the way up until World War II, for the economy to kind of go back into what would be considered normalcy. The stock market, the Dow Jones, actually dropped down to 41 points at one point in 1932. So that's how dire things were at the time. So the 31S, again, at 866,000 pieces, is absolutely low, okay? But here's the thing. The survival rate of these particular coins in BU is actually a lot higher than the 31D, in which there were as many millions more. As a matter of fact, 4.4 million pieces of the 31D were produced at the time. So, and in contrast, the 30S, okay, is highly plentiful at 24 million pieces produced by the U.S. Mint. So it's a huge, sharp drop off. But this coin right here would be considered the first, I would say the first, I guess, widely publicized slash consumer driven collectible in terms of numismatics. The U.S. Mint actually withheld over 500,000 pieces of this coin in mint state condition. Okay, and then what would happen is they would end up sending a good chunk of it to the Federal Reserve to be dispersed and distributed as collectible pieces. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, there's been a few coins of that type that have occurred. The Morgan dollar and peace dollar release in 1964 was one other such marketing ploy, quote unquote, that the U.S. Mint used to make money off of rarities. So that's kind of the story. Now there's been smallish hordes of these in BU mint states condition that have been kind of piled up over the years. As a matter of fact, there is one such notable horde called the Maurice Sharlock horde. I did not make that up. That's the actual person's name. This individual actually hoarded 200,000 coins in this BU mint state condition. Okay, so it's in today's standards, when it comes to valuation of a coin, you could pick up a mint state 64 or 65 red brown or full red for between $250 and $300, which compared to some of the other coins like a 14D or a 1909 SVDB, it's a huge price difference, and it kind of makes this coin in essence a little bit more affordable in the marketplace in terms of a key date. So it's a coin that let's say this by the way is more along the line of an XF45 or maybe AU50. The coin in itself is worth about $115 in this condition. Now that makes it very affordable. Okay, number one. Number two, these are very widely available in the marketplace today. If you were to go on like eBay or Amazon, you could find examples in this type of grade for around a C note, which is pretty cool. You know, you could own a really low mintage Lincoln Cent. It's actually one of the lowest mintage Lincoln Cents available. You know, in terms of longevity of this investment, these things have had this slow, steady climb, and they're just going to keep, you know, doing its same trend here in the next, I'd say 20 to 40 years. Okay, this coin, I would say in 20 years, would probably be worth somewhere in the neighborhood of 125 to 150 in this condition. So that is the 1931S in a nutshell. Okay, it is one of my favorite key dates to collect because you could get a really nice high quality piece, okay, for not a lot of money. Whereas on the 14D, for example, as a secondary key date, that one's tough. Okay, it's gonna take a coin that grades right around fine to be at $100. Okay, and the coin is not visually appealing at that grade level. You know, it is a 19 teens coin in which a lot of these things were widely used and distributed in commerce. So a lot of those coins were subsequently beat up, whereas the 31S, these were genuinely hoarded by collectors. As a matter of fact, people were paying between 30 and 40 cents for every example that they could get a hold of the 31S in 1935. So that's only 3 or 4 years after the fact when people caught wind of the low mintage and the collectible fervor, so to speak, of this particular date. So, you know, that's the 31S. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. It kind of, you know, I just showed you my example and talked a little bit about the coin. Again, it's a coin in mid-state 67 red that achieves $10,000 or higher pretty regularly. Okay, there are a number of pieces available at that grade level. The other coins around it, like the 31D in 67, commands 25K and up. So that gives you an idea of, you know, the priority level of hoarding key dates and coins. Nobody paid any attention to the 31Ds. They were hoarding the 31S because of the low mintage. And there you go. That's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, go ahead and hit like down here. Subscribe, Blue Ridge. You know, it's always a pleasure. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. This will be my closing video for the week, I believe. But in any event, you guys stay safe, and I'll see you guys back Monday morning. All right. You guys take care.